As part of our continuing focus on young people in the church, this week we are highlighting a Catholic nursing student and his efforts to help medical professionals stay away from procedures that violate their conscience. Felipe Avila is Director of Communications for the National Association of Pro-Life Nurses and a nursing student at the Catholic University of America in Washington, D.C. He has shared his insights at pro-life rallies and on platforms like NBC News, Fox News, and Telemundo. He joins us here today. Felipe, thank you for joining us. Now, you helped found a group for pro-life nurses on the CUA campus. Why did you decide to do this?
Fantastic question. As a healthcare worker and someone who's hoping to go into the nursing profession, we recognize that nursing is really the most trusted profession in the United States for nearly 2 decades. And so who better to reach these women, these abortion-minded women, than healthcare workers? And so we have a powerful pro-life community here on campus at Catholic University, and Catholic University has truly been a conduit for the pro-life work that I do here. And so, again, we have an abortion facility that is within 10 minutes of our campus. And so a lot of us will get together every weekend and we will go and sidewalk counsel there and reach these abortion-minded women to make sure that they are making an informed decision.
Felipe, you've been sidewalk counseling for a long time, and that's actually where we first met. What have your experiences been like? Have you had some positive or negative ones?
It's really been a mix of both, but I would say overwhelmingly it's been positive. And in the interactions that I've had with these, especially young women, I think that they often are in a very difficult position within their lives, that they have been led to believe that abortion really is their only solution. And we're there, again, to tell them that there are other alternatives, that they have the right to make an informed decision. But I think more importantly is they have the right to walk out. They have the right to cancel their appointment for any reason at any time. And I think that what we are there to do fundamentally is make women feel empowered in a place that is, that they feel powerless walking into many times.
That's beautiful. Now, you've said you want to help the medical profession speak out against abortion. What advice do you have for those who feel that they have to choose between their profession and their pro-life beliefs?
I would say this has been a battle that we in the healthcare community have been fighting for decades. I think that especially, we look at some of these states like California and New York, where there have been radical efforts to force healthcare providers, healthcare workers to participate in abortion procedures. And so, the world that we live in, you cannot just sit idly by. As a healthcare worker, we have the right to conscientious objections. And the fact that, again, we're looking at some of these radical states that are trying to force healthcare workers, we have to speak out. And so, my message to healthcare workers, nurses, doctors would be get involved. We have incredible groups like the Nurses for Life. We have groups like the American Association of Pro-Life OBGYNs. So I think that we're starting to see the tide turn finally. And in the press, in academia, we're starting to see healthcare workers be a lot more vocal about their opposition to things like assisted suicide and abortion procedures.
Now, Felipe, as a student of nursing, do you think enough is being done to protect the conscience rights of pro-life medical professionals?
I think that, again, it really starts at the state level, but we are seeing a coordinated effort by a lot of these abortion lobbying groups that are trying to force healthcare workers into deciding between their careers or their conscience. Obviously, as Catholics, we believe that our mandate comes from God. We are called to serve. We are called to heal. We are not called to kill. And so, to your point, I think that, I think that we've been able to really bring back the tide from where it was 20 years ago, but it's not enough. I think that healthcare workers need to mobilize and they need to strategize at their state level. So like I said, getting involved with their local pro-life groups in the area, I think that's a powerful start.
Yeah. Now, you alluded to this a little bit in your last answer, but what impact has your Catholic faith had on your pro-life advocacy?
It's a really great question, Abby, because a few years ago, I was radically pro-abortion. And even then, I believed myself to be a Catholic, but I did not follow the teachings of the church. And I was what you could call a cafeteria Catholic. And so it really was through interacting with beliefs that, at the time I saw as extremists, the pro-life position. And I actually found myself agreeing a lot more with the pro-life position than I did with the abortion position. And so to your question, I really do think that at the core of our Catholic identity, our faith, is the belief that every single human life has a right to life, that they have dignity. And when you look at the world through the lens of the Catholic faith, I think it transforms the way that we talk about the abortion issue.
Well, Felipe, thank you for your witness, your testimony, and the incredibly important work you're doing.
Thank you so much.